to the American Dream. I'm your host, Pam Blair. Today we're in North Portland's charming neighborhood of St. John's, and I'm going to show you why people love living in Portland's Northern Peninsula neighborhood. We're going to start out with a little stroll to an adorable mid-century modern home to meet up with Eric Wheeler of Positively Pacific Northwest Walking Tours. He's going to tell us a fascinating story about the iconic St. John's Bridge, which is really the gateway to this community. And then because Portlanders love their brew as much as their bridges, we'll head to Occidental Brewery for a tour and a taste. Ready? Let's go. St. John's is such a unique neighborhood because it has that friendly small town feel, yet you're only 15 minutes to downtown Portland. It's full of locally owned businesses, including great eateries and coffee shops. Being a nature lover and an outdoor enthusiast, the fact that I can walk or bike across the St. John's Bridge to literally the entrance of Forest Park with 80 miles of trails, or even a couple blocks to the river and hop on my stand-up paddleboard anytime in the afternoon, it's such a huge perk. I'm here with Eric Wheeler of Positively Pacific Northwest Walking Tours, and we're going to talk about the St. John's Bridge. And Eric, I have a feeling that you and I have a similar fondness for this iconic bridge. So how did such an amazing bridge end up in a very unassuming place like St. John?
Well, indeed, and there is a great story back here, of course. And so it's the 1920s. It's the late 1920s. America is on wheels, and city after city after city are building new bridges. The city of Portland in 1926 had 3 new bridges, but the people in St. John said, we want a bridge. So there was a community-wide effort to lobby Multnomah County to get a new bridge. And lo and behold, little did they know that they would end up with this, what is truly a landmark example of bridge engineering in the area.
It's fascinating. So who was the engineer of this amazing bridge?
Okay, well, this is not a household name, but if you're into bridges and into historic bridges, you would know the name David Steinman. And as he's looking back in his career, a reporter asked him, what bridge are you most proud of? And he said, without hesitation, it's the St. John's Bridge, because in that project, there was more of me in that bridge than any other bridge I built. And so that kind of gives me chills to think about that. And as we look at this bridge, we look at the repetition of these Gothic arches, these pointed arches. You can see from the very foundational piers all the way to the top of the spires, is you see this repeated form that is Gothic. And that's why we call the park, it's called Cathedral Park. So in some ways, what Steinman was after was to resonate with, was to replicate in some way the grandiosity of the Gothic cathedrals in Europe in the medieval era. And that's what we have here in the St. John's Bridge. So it's much more than transportation. It is that, but it's also an expression of the highest, if I can say, one of the highest expressions of bridge engineering in North America.
Well, it's clearly a powerful expression and a work of art. I feel so grateful that we have this in our community, and it's been such a pleasure chatting with you and hearing your passion about the bridge. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you, Pam. It was my pleasure.
We were just at the house with Eric, and now we're at Occidental Brewery, actually underneath the St. John's Bridge, and Matt, the owner, is going to give me a tour on production day, and I can't wait. Let's go. Occidental Brewery opened in 2011 and is one of the oldest breweries in Portland. In the land of IPAs and pale ales, their specialty is German-style beers and international lagers. Their Luca-Bradel Doppelbock took gold at the World Beer Cup in 2016 and bronze in 2023. Thank you for joining me for this episode of The American Dream. I'm Pam Blair, and I'll see you next time. I'm going to hang out a little bit and enjoy this beer.